Today's programme. Well, a most beautiful book has come across the desk. And I have to say, congratulations indeed to Professor John Breslin and Dr. Sarah Ann Buckley. Because Professor John Breslin is a professor at NUI Galway. He has taught engineering, computer science and entrepreneurship over a 20-year period. Is it that long, John, really? And he's also written over 200 publications and co-authored 2 books. And Dr. Sarah Ann Buckley is a lecturer in history in NUI Galway and president of the Women's History Association of Ireland. And she's published 2 monographs, 4 edited volumes and numerous articles. And she's co-founder of the Irish Centre for the Histories of the Labour Class. But this is Old Ireland in Colour. And I just want to know how they did it. And John, good morning to you. Thank you indeed for joining us on today's programme. Good to talk to you again. Do you know what? You must be the busiest man in the country. Do you ever stop?
Well, I do now and again, and this has been, I suppose, something quite interesting. I think when you work on something that you're really passionate about, I guess it's not as hard. So it's been a lot of fun.
Now, it's Old Ireland in colour, and all I can focus on really, I can focus on the whole lot, but when I focus on some of the Galway photographs that are included in this, you really have brought life into them. How does that work?
Yeah. Well, I suppose the starting point for all of these photographs in the book, Keith, is the black and white original. And we have many great resources in Ireland, like the National Library of Ireland, like the National Folklore Collection in UCD, and many others. So basically, the starting point is that photograph. We take it, I run it through a artificial intelligence-based system called the Oldify, which is a recently developed system to automatically colorise photographs. And after that, then you have to do a lot of, I suppose, manual intervention, fine-tuning the photograph, making sure that the colours are correct. So, for example, let's say there's one there of Eyre Square from, I think it's from the late 19th century. And there is a tram in the foreground. And, we have various records in terms of the Galway trams had a kind of a reddish, colour on them. Dublin trams were dark blue and ivory. The ones in Cork were green. So there are historical records where you can go back and check and make sure that the colours that you have are correct. And more commonly, I suppose, for the clothes that people would be wearing, or eye colour or hair colour or so on, there will be manual intervention to make sure that the colours are as close as possible. They'll never be 100% accurate because you can't travel back and see exactly what people are wearing, but you can look, I suppose, at records to see what people would typically wear at the time.
And do you sharpen them as well? Because the photographs I'm looking at, they look extremely sharp. Yeah, so
as well as colorization, there are various, again, artificial intelligence tools which can be used to sharpen photographs. And, I suppose it's interesting that the technology has developed to the point where we can actually not just colorize, but also can make these things look clearer. So I have various, again, AI-based platforms to sharpen and enhance these photographs as well. And actually a lot of the photographs taken, even let's say in the late 19th century or early 20th century, the quality of them is pretty high. They would have been taken on these glass plate negatives, which were pretty large negatives. They could be up to maybe 6-8 inches wide. So the quality actually was very good, but we can further enhance the pictures that aren't as good quality.
How's the book selling for you?
Fantastic, yeah. It's I suppose it's been kind of far beyond expectations. We knew there would be some interest, given that there's quite a big social media following for Old Ireland in Colour on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But it's been amazing to see how the book has spread to new audiences, with many people sharing photographs of their book copies on Instagram, Twitter, and it's also been fun seeing all the people who've gotten copies for birthday or Christmas gifts for others, but who don't want to part with them. So. It's been, I suppose we knew that there would be interest, but, the week before last we were number 1 in the hardback non-fiction charts, and, it's been selling out in many different shops and online. So it's been, I suppose, unexpected, but also interesting to see, I suppose, how there's been interest in specific groups or communities. So, for example, that could be ranging from people who want to use it for teaching history in schools, there's other many interesting areas where it's being used. For example, there's a group in Dublin who want to help the elderly to reminisce on events from long ago. So these kind of pictures can provide stimulation to those who may be struggling to remember more recent events. So, it's just been interesting to see, I suppose, how different groups have taken it up as well.
Well done. It's called Old Ireland in Colour, John Breslin and Sarah Ann Buckley. But Professor John Breslin, well done to you.
Thank you.
Again, it's absolutely stunning. And do you know what? It gives the heart a lift as well. But thank you, indeed, for joining us today. And the Old Ireland in Colour, Miriam Press brought it out and available in all good bookstores. Now, I suppose if you give Vinny a call in Charlie Burns, or if you give Thomas calling Kenny's or any good bookstore, you can get further details on it and they can ship it to you. But some of the photographs of Galway, indeed, you've got Wolford there, you've got Ayr Square there, and you've got stunning other photographs. It's just quite amazing, and I would think a huge talking point, and certainly for the younger generation to see where we came from, what we had to go through, what our forefathers had to go through, and where we are today. Quick commercial break. We're back after these.